Hi, it's time for good energy, and I'm Dr. Julie, and welcome to Bodyful Day 126. We're starting a new series, Attention and the Senses. And today we're going to talk about hearing and thinking about attention and hearing. We're going to talk about, my subtitle is You're Lost in Your Tunes. All right, let's start with the basics. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And release. Deep breath in, expand, 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 and tuck. And release. And now think about any place you had any garbage going on today. Take a deep breath in. And release. All right, so today we're talking about attention and the senses. And we're going to talk about it in two different ways. Attention in terms of losing your attention to your senses, or attention as in using your senses to get you back to gaining your attention. So today our healing equation looks like this. Energy to stay focused equals good energy in minus stressors. All right, so we're going to talk about hearing today. And the subtitle was When You're Lost in Your Tunes, or You're Lost in Your Music, because a lot of times hearing can end up being a stressor, especially if we were trying to stay on a task. And what do you need to do in order to diminish hearing as a stressor? Well, a lot of the times we can do that by putting on our own music. Well, let's back up and let's just present a few stressors that might exist. For me, it's my kids bickering in the background because I seem to notice whenever their tone color shifts or their volume shifts, I know I've got like 5 more minutes before somebody gets hurt. And so one of those stressors can be how you hear people in your environment. Another one of those stressors can just be momentary glitches. For example, if you're listening to Pandora, it's the commercial section, and because otherwise you get your great tunes, but there's that commercial section. Other times it can just be the fact that you've got a lot of people doing a lot of things around you, and you need to focus on your one thing. So let's start with those first two. When environmental sounds, either first environmental sounds trigger that there is a stressor that's coming up, and then second, when background things start to draw your attention away. So in the first case, having knowledge of what the sound signals are that a stressor is upcoming, you can take that as a stressor and decide, okay, what is my good energy and to compensate for that. Knowing that you hear bickering and that it is going to evolve into an all-out sibling war, you can get up and say, hey guys, why don't we take separate places, and then you can get focused back on your environment. In the case of the commercials, those are spots where your attention is going from being not attending to the music, but the music more as a nervous system soothing, and then the commercial takes you out. In both cases, the argument and the commercial take you out of where you were at. They take you out of your attention, your focused area, and you then have to figure out how to get yourself back. And so in one case, you actually have to create a plan to do that because the noise is there. In the other case, you can also create a plan, but it's a little different. So in the case of having a sound signaling that something's coming up, that a stressor is coming up, you can create a plan for how you're going to encounter that. Doesn't mean that your attention is less focused on where it is, but at least it will get you back into your task faster. In the case of listening to tunes and then hearing commercials, you have that lovely thing called a volume switch. And you can just turn the volume down until the commercial goes away and turn it back up. Now, that is still a deviation of your attention. And so what maybe you should do during the commercial is that you should do some deep breathing. so that you kind of release the tension of having encountered the nervous system rise of having encountered that task. Lower yourself down so that you get a couple deep breaths in, deep conscious breaths, which means you have good energy in for getting back at your task. You can do the same thing with the arguing children. It just, again, deep breaths in after you get back from resolving that issue, and that'll help you get back into your task. Now, what if your tunes are what keep you focused? Now, some cases you might have just overall random noise around you, and you know you cannot stay focused for the amount of time that you need to. Then you start to play around with sound and senses as a way to stay focused. Now, there are a number of different stations on Pandora, and frankly, you could type in any type of music that you really enjoy, and you could come up with a huge list. We have two that we use for my kids to go to sleep. One is calm bedtime radio or something, and another one is children's bedtime waltzes. And both of those contain similar music that just kind of allow everybody to, nervous system to kind of chill out. There are natural sounds. So Stop, Think, and Breathe, which is a meditation app that we use, has a background or an hour's worth of thunderstorm noise or rainstorm noise, or riding the tube noise, or an ice field noise, so you hear what sounds like snow skittering across an ice field. Any of those can be pleasing and calming to the system. You just have to figure out which one does that, because in this case, we're using sound to do the same thing that our breath does when we start a Bodyful session. We're taking a deep breath in and relaxing. So sometimes there are sounds, there are radio stations, there are ways of presenting music that will calm your nervous system and get you right into this right frame of reference so that you can do your attention work. I will give you one suggestion from my experience. What's on my Pandora account is I have a meditation. I want one meditation station, and then I have a crown chakra station, which is supposedly music that's supposed to tap into your crown chakra, which means I'm tapping into at least whatever is up here when I'm doing my more attention-demanding activities. So hopefully we have figured out how to get, if your music is what's getting you through things, how to use breath to kind of get you back into the sound, and how to use sound to distract you from everything so that you can stay focused on your task. All right, let's finish this off. Take a deep breath in and release. All right, I will see you tomorrow with another session of attention and the senses. Take care.